Welcome to the 8th Annual Black Sustainability Summit, this October 6th through the 8th, 2023. We give thanks to all who have made this event possible, those named and unnamed, to each one of our sponsors, from Gangsters to Growers to Southern Sare, all the way to those who have come through to give us support. Aya Paper Company with their donations, Seed to Shirt by sponsoring our t-shirts this year, National Black Food and Justice Alliance for their commitment to coalition work, and Adiki, Aya International Development. We appreciate you, along with Awali Veganic Homestead. As you tune into presentations, kindly trust and verify what's being shared.
It's great to be here. And today we are going to talk about how to ensure our communities can get the most and not the lesser. Okay, so just to give you a background about myself, my name is Lex Stanley. I am a proud HBCU graduate, North Carolina A&T. I am also a Dream.org Green for All fellow. And I absolutely love agriculture. So my bachelor's degree was in agriculture education. I thought I was going to be an ag teacher, and then I job shadowed teachers and realized me and kids don't have a good relationship. So although I can't work with them, I definitely work for them because I understand that our children are the future, and the seeds we plant now will definitely help us in the future as we grow. So a little bit about the company I work for. I work for Gemini Energy Solutions. It is a Black-owned and Black-led clean tech company. So we provide investment-grade energy audits, and we allow people, regardless of education and experience, to conduct these energy audits and do site assessments for solar and EV. So we're really unique because we send off a kit of sensors and we let you do the work. We let you take the pictures. We'll get on a Zoom call if needed to answer any questions, but we really let you all do the work. And that speaks to the job training that we want to do in our community, as well as the inclusiveness. So the problem, I think we all know these problems. We being our communities, 3 times more likely to die from exposure to airborne pollutants. And just to tell y'all a bit about my story, I grew up in North Carolina in a very small town called Southport. It is about 45 minutes south of Wilmington, North Carolina, right on the coast. And we used to have, growing up, it was a power plant called CP&L. Now it is called Duke Energy. And I know about 8 to 10 community members, families included, that have died from cancer. And some of us will say that's genetics, but other folks will say that's environment. We are 69% less likely to contain rooftop solar, and we are 4 times more likely to suffer from power outages. And sometimes we are fortunate enough that power outages don't bother us except for lights, but for some people, medication has to be refrigerated. And we don't realize when we have power outages that go on for days and days, people are going without. And so we want to make that issue obsolete. So our solution, health, wealth, and security. So I'll talk a bit about the project we're working on now. We call Project 100. We are transforming 100 community anchors into clean energy hubs. So we are working with Black churches to provide technical assistance. We have partnerships with Georgia Stand Up, if you're familiar, and HBCU Green Fund. So we have students from Morehouse and Spelman go out and conduct energy audits in the churches, and then from there provide technical assistance, allowing the churches to reap the some of these funding benefits for EV and solar. And so the end game is a revenue generating microgrid, which means the church will be making money off of the energy they use, and community members and congregants will also be able to buy shares in this and own property in their community. So one thing we love is our network. We are 100% Black. Our contractors, our partners are 100% Black. So when we order these EV charging stations, it is from a Black man. I think y'all know Dr. Parker, Reginald Parker. He does optimal tech with solar. We work with him, and we just make sure that all of the money that we are giving goes into our pockets. So today we are going to talk about how to use your resources. So the three main ones I'll be discussing: grants, rebates, and tax incentives. So I know we are visual people, so I made this PowerPoint with that in mind. So first, let's talk about grants. So what is a grant? A grant is funds an organization receives but does not have to pay back. I'll repeat, you do not have to pay it back. Okay? Who offers grants? Grants are available through corporations, companies, and federal agencies. If you know a company, they probably have a grant. Walmart has grants, FedEx has grants, you name it, they have grants. So how to apply for grants, which is really what I want us to talk about today, because it's fine and well to talk about how to do things, but we need to put this into action and make sure we are receiving the funds that they say are allocated to our communities. So know how to speak their language. I don't think I have to tell y'all who they are, okay? So you have to use the words that they want you to use. You can't say, oh, I'm helping my community. They want to hear Justice 40. So who in here knows what the Justice 40 initiative is? All right, so I'll go into detail. So Justice 40 initiative was created by President Biden to say that 40% of federal funds will be allocated to communities of color, or disadvantaged communities is what they call us. So they want to make sure that they're not asking us to be involved, but they're asking that the money they give goes to us. So I want y'all to be mindful of that. They're not necessarily saying we want Black people to apply. They're saying we want the funds to go to Black people. So they want to be the saviors, but they don't want us to be involved. I might be getting too radical up here. All right, let me solidify your narrative. So make sure you are writing a compelling narrative. Make sure you're writing something that they want to hear. Use the words that they're asking you to use, and collaborate within your community. So a lot of these applications will say we want 3 or 4 stakeholders, or we want government agencies involved. Although we know we can do the work ourselves, they don't trust us to do the work ourselves. So they'll ask you to partner with other organizations, which is great, because we can partner with other organizations that look like us. And then the last one, this is specific to federal funding. Get a registered SAM number. Does everyone know what a SAM number is? No. Okay, it's Systems for Award Management Number. And I'll tell y'all right now, it takes about 2 weeks to get registered, do the application, and then receive a SAM number. So I'll walk y'all through that. So registering for a SAM number. This is if you want to apply for federal grants only. So you'll go to sam.gov. This is the website that will pop up, and you'll click on Get Started. Now, if you already have a SAM number and you need to renew, you'll do Renew Entity. But get started, and it'll take you through a long application process. And it's going to ask you a whole bunch of questions, and it will take you a while. But you have to have this to apply for federal grants, okay? So, grant websites for federal grants. Grants.gov is a great resource. So when you pull up grants.gov, this is the website you'll see. You can see here on the left side, you can click posted, forecasted, closed, and archive. I always do posted. Some people do forecasted just to see what's up and coming, but most of the time, if you're looking for a grant in that moment, you're gonna go for posted. Funding instrument type. So grant is clicked here. You can do cooperative agreement, other, and contract. And then eligibility. So if you know you are a nonprofit, or you are a company, you would do for-profit. There's some for school districts, so on and so forth. So you have some filters to the left to really narrow down the grants that you're looking for. So I will click on this is a grant that I clicked on here just to give y'all an idea of what it would look like when you're going to apply. So you'll have webinar details. This is for if you have any questions for your grant, you can ask people. Contact information on the bottom where you'll email folks for grants. And then they have documents as well. So helpful resources specific to this one. So I'll read this grant for y'all. This is called the Energy Future Grants. provides $27 million in financial assistance to support local, state, and tribal government-led partnership efforts that will advance clean energy program innovation. Seeks to enhance energy, affordable, and access for communities, ensuring the benefits of a clean energy economy, including health, economic development, and jobs and emission reductions, flow to disadvantaged communities. So this does not say disadvantaged communities should apply. It says the money you get needs to flow to disadvantaged communities, meaning the money that is meant for us goes to different people's pockets, and they say how they want the money to be used in our communities. So what I want us to do is really stop looking for people to give us help and start working together and helping each other. So this is an example that we might write down if we're looking to apply for this grant. My local church is working with the mayor's office. That's someone that you'd be collaborating with to replace all the church vans with electric vehicles. Clean energy economy, like they asked about. This will make the air cleaner and our children can breathe better in our community. Health benefits they talked about. If we win this grant, we can pay for more buses and pay people in our community to do maintenance on buses. Jobs that they mentioned. But guess what? If we wrote this, they throw it right back at us. They would not accept this at all because we are not using the buzzwords that they're asking us to use for. So we might say, we are partnering with local governments, and we are creating a clean energy economy by reducing emissions, X, Y, and Z, and we can create jobs and a green economy by doing X, Y, and Z. So really, we have to learn how to play this game. I'm sorry, we don't have to learn how to play it. We have to learn how to win this game, okay? We cannot continue to write things that we feel are adequate. Because this right here, this tells me exactly what you're doing in your community. It tells me what you need. It tells me where the money will be allocated, what you're going to do with the funds, but it's not good enough because you're not speaking like them. So I want us to all be mindful as we're doing this grant applications. If you need someone to look over it, use the webinars, use those resources, ask them as many questions as you can. Ask them, email it, ask them to look at it. Ask them to reread it, give you some ideas on how you can make it better, ideas on how it could be, go from an application to an approval. So use your resources on the website. Watch your words. Okay, so as you can see here are tons of words that are buzzwords for the clean energy economy. So environment, community, equity, Justice 40, all of these words they really want you to be using. And they'll put it on the website, but you have to look for it and you have to know where to look. So it's a bit of a game because if you don't know where to look, you don't know what you don't know. So you got to make sure that you have all of the words you need. You have to make sure it's structured in the way they ask you. They're very strict. If they tell you a PDF, do not submit a Word document. If they tell you a Word document, do not submit a Google Docs, okay? So we have to be mindful when we're doing these applications. So next, rebate. What is a rebate? A rebate is a full or portion of a refund you'll receive after a purchase. After a purchase. So you can't get a rebate, apply for a rebate and say, well, I plan to buy solar. They're not going to give it to you. This has to be after you have already purchased it. And a lot of times you have to jump through hoops and show them paperwork, building drawings, permits, all of these things just to be able to apply. Not even to win, just to be able to apply. So I'll talk about two recent ones. The Inflation Reduction Act included 2 rebate programs for home energy efficiency and electrification projects. So the first one, home efficiency rebates range from $2,000 to $4,000 for individual households and $400,000 for multi-family buildings. And the second one, home electrification and appliance rebates. So this is if you want to get new stoves, if you want to get new light bulbs. Here's some examples: water heater, heat pumps, washing machines and dryers, cooktops. All of these things they will give rebates for. So this is how you get the rebates, because I want to make sure I don't just give y'all information, I show you how to access it. So you will go to energy.gov. This is the website you'll see when you search home energy rebate programs. From there, you'll scroll down to the very bottom and you'll see applications. And this to the right is the application that will pop up. I'm gonna let y'all know it's 37 pages. 37 pages. And y'all have to answer all of these questions in the way they want you to answer it, okay? So it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. Energy.gov. And then state and community energy programs. And you can search home energy rebate programs. This is on the individual basis and a business or not? Correct. It could be for individual households or it could be for a business. And the rebates are different based on if it's residential or business. So to the left, you'll see this is everything they tell you you'll need. Here's application budget, application checklist, narrative document template, which is what I have up here. So this is everything you'll have to fill out. And then pre-award information sheet. So that'll walk you through the pre-phase, when you're working on your project, and then after the reporting that you have to do. Because a lot of us don't know with federal grants, you have to do reporting on it. You have to do it either every 6 months or every year. And they don't just give you the money, they want to see how you've used the money.
But this doesn't fall in the federal category, but we don't need the SAM registration for this.
You do not need a SAM registration for this. This is a rebate. You only need a SAM registration for federal grants. So SAM is specific to grants. So tax incentives. What is a tax incentive? Government policy that incentivizes and encourages taxpayers to save money annually by reducing amount of taxes they have to pay. So two major ones I'll tell y'all about is the home energy incentive and the clean vehicle incentive. So home energy is if you invest in renewable energy for your home, such as solar, wind, geothermal, fuel cells, or battery storage technology. And battery storage technology began in 2023. That's a new thing that they recently gave an incentive for. And clean vehicles, if you're planning to buy a new clean vehicle, looking to claim credit for a new vehicle, or buying a vehicle for your business. And I'll repeat, it has to be a clean vehicle, so EV. Yes.
So you talked about the need to report. So if someone was awarded money to fix up their house and all that, how long is it reported? A year, 2 years, 5 years?
So thank you for that question. So it depends, and they will tell you on the grant, it may be something that they allocate $6 million over 3 years, and you have to be in touch with DOE or USDA for the next 3 years. It may be a smaller amount, 500,000 or so, where they ask you to report for a year. It may be a 6-month check-in, but they will tell you, and it varies with each grant you apply for. But with tax incentives and rebates, you do not have to do check-ins. Is there another question?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, let's say, for instance, I'm working with a nonprofit that wants to do things for their facilities and whatnot. Is that the same process for an individual as a nonprofit? And like, okay, let's say we have an individual, I want to do this thing for my home, for my other project. Is it the same process for the nonprofit as it is for individuals?
Okay, thank you for that question. No, it is not the same. So if you want residential solar, or if you have a grant that you want to specifically apply to yourself, it is much different than applying with an organization. And more times than not, they're going to give you more money if you're collaborating with organizations than if you were to do it by yourself. And I'll also mention it's different from doing it for nonprofits and for-profits, because a lot of these grants opportunities, like I showed y'all on the left side where you can filter, some of them do not allow you to apply if you're a business. Some of them won't allow you to apply if you're a nonprofit. So it really is a case-by-case basis on the grant.
Isn't there a way to search specifically for whatever category you're in?
Yep, I'll show you. So right here, when you go to grants.gov, to the left side, this is exactly what the website looks like. I took a screenshot. So on the left side, you can search keywords. If you know you want to apply for solar, you can search solar up here. If you know you want to apply for EV, you can search EV up here. Like I said, opportunity status. If this is something you want to do for your community in the future, you would click on forecasted. Those are the grants that are up and coming. Those are the ones that have not been put on the website yet. Posted are the ones that are posted on the website as of now, and you can apply for those. And as you see, there's posted date over here and close date, so you can filter those as well. Eligibility, city or township governments, county governments, for-profit, independent school district, and there's a lot of filters under eligibility, and you'll get down to the bottom and see nonprofits. So there's filters for just about everything. Categories, agriculture, clean energy. You can filter them by anything you want to search. Was there another question? No? No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not on Zoom, so it's fine. All right, so tax incentives. You can claim the residential clean energy credit for improvements to your main home, whether you own or rent it. Okay, this is a big deal because unfortunately, we do not own a lot in our communities. A lot of times ownership is just through the church. So if you rent, you can still get these tax incentives. And a lot of people don't know that. The credit applies to new or existing homes. So if you're building one or you already have one, but you cannot claim the credit if you're a landlord or other property owner who does not live in the home. And remember, I told y'all about them buzzwords. IRS defines home as a place you live most of the time, end quote, okay? And the residential clean energy credit equals 30% of the cost of new qualified clean energy property for your home installed anywhere from 2022 through 2032. So if you had a new stove in 2019, it does not apply for tax credits, tax incentives. But if you just had an upgrade in 2022, it does apply, yes.
So that means that if you go ahead and you purchase all the things that you need to take care of for this incentive, if you document those things and show them to them on paper, they can use the rebate for them?
Correct.
This is only in the form of submitting annual taxes.
Correct, taxpayer, yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, they get you. Okay, so how do we get these incentives? So first thing you want to do, go to irs.gov, our favorite website, right? And then we go under credits and deductions. So like I said, this is a screenshot of the website. I'm gonna walk y'all through it. Credits and deductions. On the left, you see clean energy and vehicle credits. So that's what I clicked on. Then you'll see this drop down. How to claim the credit? Again, it's at the very bottom of the page. Scroll all the way down and you'll see how to claim the credits. And it'll give you a form that you have to submit. This one is for the clean vehicle, and the one down here is residential energy credits for home energy credits. So I want to make sure that we all understand how to get to the website. So irs.gov. At the top, you'll see this. You go under credits and deductions, clean energy and vehicle credits. And once you scroll down on that page, you'll see the forms that you need to fill out. And so here are the resources that I use regularly. Justice40accelerator.org. This is a good place to get funding opportunities. Federal funding is not the only funding that you can receive. There are foundations. Like I said, there's corporations as well that have funding opportunities. So really use whatever is at your disposal to get these. Foundations are ones that I will say is much easier because you don't have to have a SAM number, but you will have to have a tax ID or a employer identification number. EIN, yep. Grants.gov, that's the one I walked y'all through today. USA.gov has some opportunities as well. And then your federal site. So when I was talking about buzzwords through DOE, DOT, HUD, make sure you are going on these websites. And just because you think you know what community solar is, if you're writing a community solar grant, make sure you look up what they define community solar as, because our definitions can vary. And they want to hear exactly what they put on the website as what you are doing in your community. Because I'm in Georgia right now, I'll give y'all some Georgia websites. GeorgiaPower.org. They tell you the incentives and credits you can get specific for your community. And then Georgia Environmental Finance Authority. This one has rebates as well, and they will tell you what is specific to your community and what is applicable. Do we have any questions about how to get these funding opportunities or how to access the websites that I showed you all? Yes.
Just one question you could elaborate on, just the time length.
Yes. Yes. So it varies with each grant or with each funding opportunity. Do you mean timeline in terms of how long it will take you to complete or how long it takes to get the money? Okay. So I would say all in all, if you're an organization and you already have a team of collaboratives that you can work with, I would say it could take about 2 weeks to complete. If you have not yet formed a team, at least a month. Because it takes us a lot of time to get together and think about ideas and what time works with everybody to collaborate properly and do the work. So I would say at minimum, you need to say a month to put everything together. In terms of the money, I saw an opportunity that you could apply for today and wouldn't get the money till next year. So it really does vary. It seems that the larger funds take longer time to receive, and some of the smaller funds will take maybe a couple months to receive. But I will suggest if you are in a rush to receive funds that you go for foundations and companies as opposed to federal grants. Because like I said, the SAM registration takes 2 weeks at least if you don't have that number. So that's a large chunk of your time.
Thank you. And to that point, you also want to be mindful of the application window, right? So, for instance, these federal resources or federal grants, they'll have a month period where you apply. So keep that in mind as you're applying.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What are some places we can find some foundations? Or I guess it's digital?
Yeah, so Justice 40 Accelerator is really good because they have a lot of foundations on there as well as federal funding. But I like that website because, first off, I'm a color coding person, so I like it for that reason. But I also like it because it'll have the dates on there. It'll have the date that it opens and closes, similar to the grants.gov, and it's a lot of foundations on there as well. Any more questions? Yeah.
Grants.gov is not a member-based website. You don't have to pay for membership.
You don't have to pay for membership for grants.gov, but you will have to pay for the SAM number. That's a good question. I do not know. Yeah, absolutely. So it does vary by state. I will say California is ahead of the game. So I just did 2 rebates. One was Cal EVIP. That's for EV. I think that was a level 2 charger rebate. And then Communities in Charge, which is upcoming in November, exclusive to California for level 2 chargers. There are going to be more rebates in areas where clean energy is at the forefront. Unfortunately, in the South, it seems that we are not as advanced. Even though I live in DC now, I'm from North Carolina, so we are not as advanced when it comes to the clean energy economy. So a lot of these applications are exclusive to some states, which is unfortunate. But if you go, like I said, Georgia Power or whoever your power is, if it's Duke Energy, go on their website and they will tell you the tax incentives, rebates, and credits specific to the state and then more specific to your community.